Hello everybody, my name is Maher, and okay, I can't really think of anything snarky to say. This movie is actually just really good and I want to talk about it as soon as possible. For those who don't know, The Bad Guys is an animated movie based on a children's book of the same name. The original books were about a group of bad guys trying and failing to become good. The movie has reportedly been in production since 2017, with Dreamworks acquiring rights to the movie in 2018, with the movie coming out in 2022. Now Dreamworks, we know Dreamworks, right? The quality is like the stock market. It fluctuates. And after the last movie, we really could only go up. Oh wow, we really did go up. Oh wow, oh my god. This is amazing. Wait! If I gush about it now, then there'll be no point in watching this episode, so let's continue the plot, so then I can gush about it later. So the plot is relatively pretty simple. After finally being arrested by the police, the notorious bad guys are given a chance to become good guys by Professor Marmalade. This guy is like the biggest good guy in the world, and he's gonna help them convert into good guys so they can get pardoned. Mr. Wolf, the main character, uses this as a trick, so after they get pardoned, they can go ahead and steal his beta design for the Nobel Peace Prize. But Mr. Wolf actually starts to become a good guy, much to the dismay of the other bad guys, most notably Mr. Snake, who is Wolf's best friend. After 2 weeks of them training, they finally go back to the gala, but Wolf doesn't go through with stealing the trophy despite them being ready to do it. Because they were going to plan on doing this, but because Wolf has become a good guy, yeah, he kinda failed at it and didn't really want to do it because he's a good guy. Okay, everything after this scene is a spoiler warning, so if you don't want to get spoiled or haven't seen this movie yet, go and skip this section, okay? Everyone gone? Well, plot twist, Marmalade's a bad guy. It is revealed that he's been a bad guy this entire time and was pretending to be a good guy, so he can use his plan to use the bad guys as a way to distract everyone from him stealing a meteor that crashed on Earth to use as a mind control thing in order to mind control guinea pigs to steal as much money as he wants. You do not know how many takes it took me to say that, and I'm not going to do any more takes. Now, saying this out loud, it sounds complex. Because it is. Anywho, the bad guys get framed for stealing the meteor despite not doing it, and they get sent to jail. To which the city's governor, which I totally forgot to mention, saves them. But in another plot twist, she is also a bad guy that became good, because why not? So because this is a Dreamworks movie, the characters have a sad breakup scene due to the other bad guys wanting to stay bad guys, but Wolf wanting to become a good guy. Don't worry, they make up a few minutes later. Then Mr. Steak teams up with Mr. Marmalade, however in a double cross he did it and then destroyed the meteor, destroying Marmalade's plans, and he gets arrested with the police, thinking that he was the governor's alter ego, since she never said it or revealed it because she became a governor. Yeah. I'm confused. And then the bad guys get arrested and the movie ends. And that was The Bad Guys. Now, when I'm trying to summarize this, it seems like the movie is just a mess with too many plot points, plot twists, and other junk. But I promise, if you watch the movie, it sounds way better, and it does way more justice than my stupid mouth will ever give it. But now let's talk about the animation, something that my stupid mouth can make sense. I need water. Oh, that was good water. Okay, so where are we now? The animation? Oh, yeah. Clear my throat. Oh my god, this movie looks so good! I am a sucker for 2.5D visuals in, like, CGI movies. Though I would prefer it if it was 2D, but whatever. And, like, whenever we see a photo of them in the movie, it just adds this line art around them, which adds so much style, I love it. And some shots also use line art, like this one, and I just love how expressive they are. Like, it's mainly the bad guys, but, like, some other characters, like the police chief, are just so expressive. I am very glad that Spider-Verse did this well, because thanks to them, now we're getting a bunch of CGI movies that are a lot more stylistic, and are not just only realistic, and just, like, only real life. Now it's actually good. My only gripe with this is that the human class look very samey. Like, most of the humans just look very same, only, like, slightly variations. However, they are background characters, so I can forgive that. I just love the style so much, and judging by the trailer for Dreamworks' next movie, Puss in Boots 2, they seem to be continuing with the style, which I am all in for. But now it's time to move on because to be honest, words cannot describe how good the animation is. I just love it. Okay, I wanted to try something different today. Instead of starting by the pros and then going to the cons, let's try the cons first and then go into the pros. I don't know, I guess it would remind me how the bad guy started bad but then became good. Anyway, first things first, this movie is very predictable. Now just because the movie is predictable doesn't make it bad, I'm just saying that it is. I'm also not a huge fan of that Dreamworks trope of, your friends are holding you back, or that breakup scene that's followed by a reunion scene. I don't know, it just makes the movie feel a bit stereotypical. Also, the movie kind of just ends, like there's not really an ending to be honest. I mean, I'd rather have that than just have another dance party ending, but still, it just like, ended. The bad guys went into a car, they said a joke, roll credits. Now there was a post-credit scene that kind of continued this by them leaving jail like a year later, but I don't know, it's still weird. Also, bless this movie is hard, but at the end it just got confusing. I mean, when you have 4 plot twists, too big and too small in a kid's movie, yeah, it's gonna get confusing. I mean, I was able to understand it, but it did take me a few minutes in the movie theater to really sink in what was going on. Also, the main plot twist would have been spoiled if you already read the books, which I didn't, so I guess it was in my favor. However, that one did have good foreshadowing, while the other 2 really didn't have any foreshadowing to the plot twist at all. I'm pretty sure the last plot twist wasn't even hinted at. Another thing was how everyone except the wolf and snake in the tree, in like the group of the bad guys, aren't used that much. Like the other characters, like Miss Tarantula, Shark, Piranha, they're great characters. I like them. I just wish they were used more. And yeah, that's all my complaints really. Now let's get into the pros. First things first, like I said before, this movie is a bit predictable, but like I mentioned earlier, a predictable movie doesn't automatically make it bad. It just means you can tell what will happen ahead of time. I also like the personalities of the bad guys and how they worked off each other. You can tell that they have a bond, and it's honestly really good, and I wish all of them had proper screen time. For the characters that did get the most screen time, Wolf and Snake, were great. They have a great bond that lets you know they've been friends for a while. You could sell the fact that they've been friends since they were little kids, with like how they talk to each other and how they kind of joke around like friends do. The beginning of the movie, which this official video lacks for some reason, is just 2 minutes of the Wolf and Snake chatting. They eat lunch, they talk over Snake's birthday and what they're gonna do even though Snake doesn't like it. They walk out of the diner, walk across the street, go to a bank, and then rob it. And then they leave. And I love it. It shows that not everything has to be blazing fast, and sometimes you can take it slow, which most animated movies seem to be afraid to do, as to not lose the attention of the viewers. Encanto. Sorry. Sounds like I got a hot take stuck in my throat. I also love the animation, but I already mentioned that before. One thing that I didn't mention before was that I like the foreshadowing in the main plot twist, which I will not spoil. Don't count that. At first I thought it came out of nowhere, but once the movie explained it and I really thought about it, the clues are there all along, and that's how you do a good plot twist, when something is actually foreshadowed and then not coming out of nowhere. Frozen. The other 3 were fine, but they weren't foreshadowed as well as the main one. I also like the governor. I think she and Wolf played off each other really well. And speaking of Wolf, I love his character. Even in stressful scenarios, he was still able to be slick and able to get his way out of trouble, which was really great, and I love that. I also like Wolf's arc of becoming a good guy. He takes his time slow and actually doesn't rush through it, which ironically the other bad guys do rush through their arcs to become a good guy, but whatever. I also love the chase scene at the beginning of the movie, the police chase scene. And I also like how Wolf purposely went to the police station to extend the chase scene, which was really great. I also love the main cop of this movie, the character who like really hates the bad guys. She reminds me of this girl from Madagascar 3, except less insane or more sane? And whatever, this movie is still great. So, overall, The Bad Guys is not bad. It is a great movie, and while it does falter in some areas, overall, it's really good, and I loved it. And no joke, it is probably one of my favorite Dreamworks movies to date. I recommend it to anyone with skin, and I want you guys to go support it right now, so that way Dreamworks can see that this movie is what people want, and not more Boss Baby 2s. So go watch it! Nope, can't think of anything snarky. Dang it.